Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing Wytchwood, and last episode we got across the lake for our snake chapter, which is one of the 12 wicked souls we are trying to gather. And we are now at Snake's Circus. So this looks pretty crazy, guys. The snake would like to meet you. Let's press G. He's got a 1,000-yard stare. That's what they also... The jugglery on display here is unbelievably consistent, almost hypnotic. She doesn't seem to even notice that you're there. So I don't think we can actually talk to anybody. But of course, let's be sure to loot. I mean, why not? Who doesn't like looting? Oh, very nice. Our witch girl's like, oh, the strong man? Very nice. I love it. A well-muscled Hulk flexing with a faraway look in his eyes. I'm sure he is. This guy is definitely... He seems to be in some kind of trance. This must be the bard that our crying maiden is looking for. But he's definitely hypnotized. So let's head in here and to the silk tent and see who this snake character is. Oh, it is quite literally a snake. You know, it has a really cool art design here on its face that's like reminiscent of Chowder, where it's like the image in the background is staying still, but then like the overlay or whatever is moving. So it's like gives a really cool distinctive style. I like it. I think that's really cool. Draped in glittering jewelry, the serpent stares intently into a crystal ball as you approach. Welcome, my dear, welcome. I saw that you would come here in search of answers, says the snake. Pah! I just came here in search of a bard, says the witch. That's him outside, right? With the lute. The minstrel? Yes, he is working off a debt to me. All those folk out there seem a touch addled. What did you do to them? They're all humble folk, looking for something, just as you are. I'm here to provide them with my services in exchange for a bit of work. So, what are you? Some sort of carnival wizard? You're making quite the racket in my forest, says the witch. A wizard? No, I am a seer, a scryer of hidden mists, a fortune teller, a foreteller of fortunes, and keeper of secrets. Fancy titles you've given yourself, replies the witch. Sounds like you're nothing but a used cart salesman peddling your wares to the gullible, replies the witch. Ah, I'm a skeptic. Step closer and let the crystal ball reveal its mysteries. The snake's voice drops low and seems to fill the tent with a heavy weight. I am a helper of sorts, an unraveler of knots. I make the forgotten remembered. You feel the scaly touch of slithering coils wind around you, but you are powerless to move. And you have forgotten much. The snake's eyes swirl in a pattern you've never seen. Imperceptible colors collapse into themselves and fracture into kaleidoscopic mosaics against the canvas walls. A voice speaks from far away. It takes you a moment to realize that it's your own. I have forgotten so much. Let me help you find your answers. The serpent's coils slowly squeeze the consciousness out of you. With a desperate push of willpower, you blink away from the snake's hypnotic gaze. Wait! Get off me, you worm! Screams the witch. You wriggle your body like a sack of loose twigs. Despite your protesting bones, you manage to squirm free and tumble backwards out of the tent. Well, that was scary. Somebody's been reading and watching too much of the Jungle Book. When your eyes open, you find yourself back outside the snake's tent. You pick yourself up from the ground and dust off your shoulders. Harumph! I guess that sly serpent has some tricks up his sleeve. I better come up with a plan for the next time I go in there. The festival patrons seem confused after your tussle with the snake, as if the spell over them was momentarily shaken. The crowds disperse as they fumble about in a haze. Now's my chance to get a word in with that bard, says the witch. Maybe I can get him out of this mess. So yeah, let's go. Oh, they're all moving. Let's take a look. Nope, it says... They still say that they're out of it, but that's okay. Strumming his lute, this strapping young man has a faraway look in his eyes. Is it wistfulness, nostalgia, or even hypnosis? And he's sweaty. He's literally glistening and dripping with sweat. Wander I may, but ne'er away from she I call my lover. To my chagrin I stumbled in and met the gaze of another. Curious, I stared, I was not prepared, and this was my mistake. A binding gaze, now I live my days in the service of the snake. Cry not for me, for there is she that might still see me saved. My spirits they lift as she holds a gift from before I was enslaved. A mirror, but shattered, its pieces have scattered. If mended, we may be set free. Down the wishing wellspring to the swamp's moonlit ring, and hiding within the pixie's tree. What's all this about a broken mirror? You gave it to that weeping maiden? Speak plainly, you warbling fool, says the witch. No matter what you do, the poor musician barely seems to realize you're there. He just keeps strumming his lute and humming his mournful tune. Pfah, maybe that lovesick miss will know what he's on about. So let's return to the Weeping Maiden in the forest, get out of this creepy carnival, and talk to our maiden and hopefully get a clearer answer about what all are the items that we need for this quest. Oh, still my beating heart, have you any news about my dear sweet love? I found him at the carnival, but he's been mesmerized by the snake. Unless I can break the spell, no one in that carnival can leave. The snake? Say it isn't so. I've heard how he grants wishes, but only for a terrible price. Why would my love be so desperate as to consort with that charlatan? I haven't a clue, but he's stuck deep. The only thing I managed to get out of him was something about a mirror? Do you know anything about that? A mirror? Oh yes, it was the first gift he ever gave me. From inside her bodice, she produces a small cracked hand mirror. But one night it slipped from my balcony and shattered on the cobblestones. I tried to piece it back together, but I could never find the last 3 shards. His song mentions something about a wishing well, a moonlit swamp, and a pixie tree? Keep that mirror close. I'll seek out the missing shards and return them to you. Oh, thank you. I should very much love to see it whole once again. Alright, so we have 3 shards that we need to find in the well, in the swamp, and in the pixie's tree. Let's, of course, as always, check out our map. So into the well, Song of the Snake, this is where the pixies are, and then over here is going to be the swamp. So let's head over to the well because we have been over there before. Now that we are in the well, we are going to make our way back to the very back. This is where we found the shining stones earlier, but oh look, there's another shining stone right there. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Or shiny, not shining. Because I have a feeling that this, which we couldn't unlock earlier, is definitely part of this quest, and it looks like I was right. You hike up the hem of your skirt from the ankle-deep well water and duck down to inspect the small damp cave. A pale shape quickly retreats further into the dark space. You hear the labored breath of some pathetic thing, frightened and alone. Hello there, don't worry, I won't hurt you, says the witch. The well wretch is what it's called. Bloodshot eyes blink nervously up at you. The creature gazes longingly at the light of the world above while simultaneously cowering from it. Poor dear, what are you doing down in this hole, says the witch. I bet you're hungry, aren't you? 2 thin, malnourished arms twist out from the crevice. One hand tightly clutches a shard of glass, while the other hand reaches out to you, begging for food. The creature uncurls its bony fingers for your offering. Well, we don't have an offering for him yet, so let's go ahead and hit leave. So, of course, let's check out the grimoire. They want this roast beast. So looks like we're going to need some more campfire embers and some witch spice. But it does look like we have all the ingredients that we need for the witch spice. And then these were just unlocked by literally following through on that quest. So let's make our way up to the kiln area to get ourselves some extra embers. Using our trowel, we'll just go ahead and dig up some of these ash piles. And we're going to just dodge this, dodge that little doggy. There was a soot sprite over here. So with the soot sprites, you just dig them up and then you just capture them with your little net. And now that we have the embers that we need, let's go ahead and hit craft. Once again, the witch spice is just right next to it. Mushrooms, eye nut, and forest herbs, which we just collect on the ground. And then meaty morsels, which we got from our snap traps for the birds. And you can also get more morsels from squirrels, actually. But yeah, now that we have our roast beast, isn't that like what they say in The Grinch? Instead of it being roast beef, it's roast beast. I'm pretty sure that's from Dr. Seuss, okay? I'm pretty sure that that's what they call it in The Grinch. Anyways, let's walk over here and hand it to our little well wretch. Two thin, malnourished arms twist out from the crevice. One hand tightly clutches a shard of glass, while the other hand reaches out to you, begging for food. Hand him the roast beef. The creature snatches up the meat so quickly that you nearly lose a finger. It scurries back into its little crevice, and you hear a satisfied munching from within. So let's go ahead and take it, and that is the first piece of mirror that we have collected. All right, we're off to a great start. The next piece we're going to look for is going to be in the swamp. Actually, let's go ahead and check out the pixie tree, because that is pretty close. This gnarled tree is littered with countless trinkets and bits of trash, glued haphazardly together to form a glittering hive. You reach for a sharp piece of broken glass that could be the mirror shard, but pull your hand away at the last moment. 1,000 beady eyes peer out of the tree's knotholes. A familiar cackling voice floats above the others. "You again, Kettlehead. What do you want now?" "I've come for that mirror shard. Hand it over and I won't have to strangle you again," says the witch. "No way," replies the pixie. "We need shinies to keep gross fairy folk away. Best fairy repellent there is." "What? Since when are fairies afraid of shiny things?" "Well, I don't see no fairies around. Do you? But maybe we can work something out. Them smelly mushroom herders have been encroaching on our turf, you see. They've been building those stupid little stone shrines of theirs, and worse yet, they been hiring mercenaries to guard them. So we can't go anywhere near, but maybe a big stomper like you can take care of the problem for us, and then you'll give me that shard," says the witch. "Hey, if there ain't no fairies, we won't need no fairy repellent," says the pixie. So he just wants us to casually commit genocide and get rid of all of the fairies. Oh, I can hardly see what's here at all. So yeah, there's whenever there's sparkles around, there's probably a fairy nearby, or a pixie. Because the fairies you can see, but the pixies are the ones that are hidden like that. And then to get them, of course, you just have to do the potion to reveal them, and then they give you some like fairy dust or something like that. But to find all of the fairy circles, those are going to be now marked on our map with the snake icon. That's where all of them are. So the first one we're going to do is going to be, we're going to ignore, that one is going to be our last one, because to get rid of those little guys, you have to do a doll, so, which I don't have any of the ingredients for. So the first one we're going to do, of course, is going to be this dog, because we have already dealt with a dog before in the tutorial. Let's go ahead and throw the meat. Of course, since he's sleeping anyways, let's go ahead and grab ourselves some dog fur just in case. And then to clear the shrine, you just hit it. A fairy pops out, which you can catch. Get some fairy dust. And then, of course, we're also probably going to harvest the changelings around here. Because why not? And then that shrine is complete. And it's all done. So we have 1 of 3 completed. And with that, I am going to go ahead and leave this part here. Thank you so much for joining me on this Let's Play series. I'm having a blast playing it, and I hope you're enjoying it. As always, check out the description. It has a link to all of my social media, including my TikTok and my sticker shop. But if you want to stay here on YouTube, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed to my channel. That helps the YouTube algorithm get my content in front of more people's faces, and it helps me reach my monetization goal of 1,000 subscribers. So until I see you guys again, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.